Good evening, everyone. My name is Ravi Gupta. I am CEO and founder of Elites Technomedia Private Limited. We are a 17-year-old organization and we have been working on spreading the ideas of innovation. We have been bringing out 4 magazines. Our leading magazine is eGov, which is a 16-year-old magazine on e-governance. Another magazine on e-health, which is about IT in health. Another magazine on banking and finance, and another magazine on digital learning. Today, we are here with a live interaction with Dr. Rajendra Kumar. He is the Principal Secretary of MSME Department, Government of Tamil Nadu, and he is also the Director of Entrepreneurship Development and Innovation Institute of Tamil Nadu. So, our topic of discussion is future of MSMEs in post-corona era, challenges and opportunities. So we all are aware about the corona situation. It is creating havoc globally. It is a health disaster to start with, but it is leading to lot of economic impact also, and especially the MSMEs and SMEs and startups are highly vulnerable communities when a pandemic strikes or when a disaster strikes. So in these situations, it is pertinent to talk about what are the challenges for MSMEs and are there any opportunities at all. So if there are, what are they? So Dr. Rajendra ji, thanks for joining us. Before we start, just to get an introduction with the audience, if you briefly talk about your career in the IAS, so that our audience will connect with you a bit more. Rajendra ji, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ravi Gupta. It's good to interact with all the participants on this digital platform. I am Dr. Rajendra Kumar. I am currently the Principal Secretary in the MSME department in Government of Tamil Nadu. I am also heading the EDIITN, that is the Entrepreneurship Development and Innovation Institute of Tamil Nadu. In my current capacity, my role is mainly to support the development of the MSME sector in the state of Tamil Nadu, and also promote startups and implement programs for developing entrepreneurship. Prior to this, I was in the IT sector mainly for a number of years in the Government of India, where I was Joint Secretary e-Governance in the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. There I spearheaded the Digital India program, and also I implemented the National E-Governance Plan, the first part of it. Then I conceptualized and formulated the NEGP2, what is called as eKranti, as a new comprehensive program to implement e-governance in all the major, all the departments of Government of India, mainly the citizen-centric departments. Before that, I was in the state in various capacities. So I'm really happy to see a very good response to this digital interaction. And I would really look forward to interacting with all of you in this event.
Sure. Thanks for joining in. So to start with, my question is that how do you see this situation in terms of the MSME sector? What are the challenges you are seeing? And especially if you can talk about your state.
Yeah, so let me start with saying that currently we are passing through a very difficult situation for all of us at our personal level, as well as at society level, economy level, at professional level. We are seeing the challenges of being confined to homes during this lockdown phase. All the businesses also, they have been affected because they're not able to operate freely. And if I can say the normal, we are seeing a new normal now, where we are seeing profound changes in terms of the impact that this pandemic is having on our personal and professional lives. I hope that this situation would improve in the time to come, and perhaps in a few weeks' time, or maybe in the shortest time possible, we all would be able to come out of this situation and lead probably more normal and more usual life that we have been used to living. Now, let me come to the main topic of discussion for today's event. That is the impact on the MSMEs. As we have all seen, the impacts on the businesses has been quite severe, and it has been quite adverse for them in the last 45 days of the current lockdown. Some relaxations have been given now, which are now bringing businesses back to their feet. But still, the challenges they remain, and we need to face them in the time to come as well. I think if we really see in terms of the adverse impacts, we have seen that businesses, especially MSMEs, have been very adversely impacted because, as we know, MSMEs don't have very, deep resources to survive such prolonged periods of, inaction in terms of lack of production, then in terms of lack of access to markets, etc. So that impact has been there on all of them. But let me also mention a few points about the future that lies ahead of all of us, especially for the MSME sector. As we know, there is always light at the end of any challenge, and there is always good times ahead in any challenging situation. Same thing seems to be true for the industry and the MSMEs as well. We have seen the adverse impacts of this pandemic worldwide on the economies across the across all the geographies. At the same time, we are also seeing a lot of opportunities coming ahead of us. Let me just mention a couple of them here. You might have seen reports about many countries thinking of moving their supply chains and production facilities. Many MNCs moving their production facilities to outside of the major countries that have been affected, mainly China. And this provides us with a huge opportunity. Let me just emphasize that in the last couple of months, we have seen a lot of significant moves by the multinational companies to diversify the supply chains, to move production out of specific geographies to other countries as well, so that they can take advantage of the continuing production possibilities in those geographies. India would be a major beneficiary of this movement, this shift that is happening in supply chains and production lines across the entire world. And this provides the MSMEs in particular with a huge opportunity. So let me just stress on this point, because this is going to be the key focus of our activities in government as well. We believe that firms relocating from China, from some other geographies, they would think of India as the prime destination for their investments. And all the states, they need to be prepared to really welcome such investments and channel them in the right direction to create employment, to make the MSMEs more competitive, and ensure that the MSMEs in India, they become part of global supply chains in the time to come. So that's a huge possibility that is waiting for us to really take advantage of. Let me just mention a few points quickly as to how the MSMEs can really enable themselves to take advantage of this incoming opportunities. They need to become competitive. That's the first and foremost, because unless they really show the capacity to be at the forefront of technology, forefront of production lines, forefront of ramping up the capacities, they will not be able to absorb all the incoming opportunities. So that is the first frontier which we need to recognize and take advantage of. Second, we need to really modernize ourselves. Why I'm saying this, because I've seen companies in the past losing out on these opportunities to export, for example, to advanced economies, because we are not ready. We must see opportunities in new technologies, new concepts like Industry 4.0, which is really bringing a tectonic shift in manufacturing across the entire spectrum of industry. So we must recognize those opportunities. We must improve the processes that we are currently having to bring them on par with the Industry 4.0 concepts. We must improve products, and we must make our people more skilled, more capable. So three key concepts. We need to focus on people, we need to focus on processes, and we need to focus on products to really become competitive so that we can really become the preferred destination for investments from abroad, which is going to happen in the time to come. So let's not despair just because of this pandemic's temporary impact, I would say, temporary adverse impact. Adverse impacts have been there, but we must see the long-term future of the industry, long-term future of the economy, which I feel is very bright. And once this phase subsides, then we are poised for a long phase of economic growth and boom. So we must see that positive opportunities that are coming before the industry in the country, and we must be ready to really exploit those opportunities.
Sure. Lot of MSME associations across India have requested the central government to look at some waivers in taxes. Some are asking for bailout packages for MSMEs and various other like demands. Each sector is like ranging from jewelry to retail to manufacturing to everyone, service sector. So how you are seeing this situation, which is daily being discussed by the minister, also the Minister of MSME, Government of India also has mentioned that yes, central government is looking at some type of support. So how do you see this situation?
Yes, that's a very relevant aspect to be considered in today's circumstances, because as we all know, the industries, the MSMEs are going through a time of distress, which we all have recognized in the government. And from the government side, we have seen a number of steps being taken by Government of India, by state governments, to address this distress that is apparent in the industry, particularly the MSMEs. As you may be aware, Government of India has already announced a number of initiatives to support this sector, both financially and from the long-term point of view of improving their competitiveness. RBI, Reserve Bank of India, has announced a number of steps to address the needs of immediate finances for the sector. They have announced a moratorium on repayment of term loans and working capital loans for all the MSME units. They have also announced additional provisioning of working capital and term loans for the industry with a certain limit based on certain criteria on past standing and records. These steps are welcome. They have helped the industry. We have got feedback from the MSMEs in my state and also from the other states that I'm aware of, that the industry is availing these support measures. But clearly, as the period of the lockdown has extended, probably the industry feels the need for more support measures, which also are under consideration, as you may be aware. These are being discussed at the state government level, at the level of Government of India. And I'm hopeful that some more steps will be announced to address the emerging situation for the MSMEs. Let me mention a couple of points that may be of interest to the MSME participants in this forum. I think the steps to extend moratorium for the MSMEs have been helpful. This has helped in meeting the adverse situation in their cash flow requirements, and also in meeting the obligations towards payment of salaries to their workers, payment of salaries to their vendors. So these measures have been helpful to them. In a state government, Tamil Nadu, let me mention just a few points. We have been also supportive, very supportive of the needs of the MSMEs during this time. And we have been reaching out to them continuously and interacting with them as to what their needs are. And in all areas, we have taken steps to support them to meet this challenging situation. Some more measures are on the anvil, as is apparent from discussions at the Government of India level. And I'm sure they would be welcomed by the industry. Let me mention a few points which we have taken with the use of technology and e-governance initiatives in my department to really ease the pressure on the MSMEs to avail support from the government. I think some of the participants from Tamil Nadu and some others may be aware. In Tamil Nadu, in 2018, we launched a comprehensive online single window system, which was aimed at providing all approvals and all NOCs to all the MSME entrepreneurs completely online. Now, what that has done is that it has moved the process of obtaining all approvals from an earlier paper-based system based on individual representations to different departments to a completely online system based on a single composite online form. So I will just repeat once again. Now, all that an entrepreneur is required to do is to fill a single composite online form, submit the documents required by different departments in one go, make the fee payment online, and then wait for approvals to come automatically, completely online within a defined time frame of 7 to 30 days. This is what we have done through the single window system in Tamil Nadu for the last nearly 2 years now. And this is under a legal framework of Business Facilitation Act 2018, which now legally mandates all the government departments to provide all approvals completely online without the need for any manual intervention or any manual interaction. This is highly successful. Over 1,000 cases we have given approval completely online, with all fees being paid online without any manual or offline interaction. That's a major step that we've taken to improve the ease of doing business for the MSME in Tamil Nadu. Second step that we have taken, we have a number of schemes for the entrepreneurs where we give them subsidies for different projects. For example, we have capital subsidy for investment in plant and machinery in the state. We have subsidy on power tariff. We have subsidy on a bank loan, what we call interest subvention, and a number of other subsidies are there. Now, all these subsidies we have moved to a completely online platform. So in today's pandemic times, this also has been done last year in 2019, September. In February, we launched the platform. September 18th was prepared in launch in February 2019. From that time onwards, the entire process for giving subsidy has moved completely online. So today in these pandemic times, when there is no physical interaction, there is no movement, the entrepreneurs can sit at home, they can apply for these schemes and obtain benefits completely online. So we are seeing the true impact during this time, because even when our offices are not fully staffed, even when offices are closed, we are working from home and we are providing all the government support to the MSMEs, because we have used technology in a very big way to reach out to all entrepreneurs, make our interface completely online. And this is really, this has been seen in action by all the MSMEs, and they have really been appreciative of the steps taken, whose value we have really known during the last 2 months, because now we can do everything online. So all the steps that we have taken in the past 2 years to make our systems completely electronic, online, have been really bearing fruit to us. And just to give you one small measure of the impact of the outcome that these have had. In last year, January, that is 2019 January, we had a global investors meet in Chennai, which is a major event that the state organizes who attract investors. In that event, MSME sector in Tamil Nadu, it was able to attract more than 2 times of the investment that we had attracted in the first event of the Global Investors Meet that was held in 2015. While the state was able to attract total 20% more investment, MSME sector was able to attract more than 100% rise in investments. That was because of our all systems being completely online. So today, I receive applications from an investor sitting abroad, in Singapore, in South Korea, in US, in Europe, and we can give approvals online, and we can bring the investor to our state with all ready-made facilities. We can give land online. We can allot the investor plot online. We can give approvals required to start a unit or a factory online, and we can allow him to avail of all the subsidies online. So this is attracting a host of investors to Tamil Nadu. Our investor climate is really improved. And if you see our website, you can see the real-time performance of our schemes, which have been now brought fully electronic. So I would just like to mention that as a state, we are now fully geared up, fully prepared to welcome investment from abroad because of the incoming opportunities due to the pandemic situation in other countries. The countries which have proposed to move their facilities to diversify their presence, they have chosen India as the prime destination. And within India, we are poised to become the leading destination for all investments. So let me, conclude by saying here that in Tamil Nadu, we are fully prepared to really welcome all investments. I would request all the participants in today's forum to really see Tamil Nadu as a state which is really investor friendly, business friendly, which welcomes investments. We allow you to function fully without any hassles, without any difficulties. We have 24/7 power supply, a very good infrastructure, very well developed industrial parks all over the state, and presence in almost all sectors. You name it, we are present in automobile, among the largest in India. We are in IT, we are in hardware manufacturing, we are a leading exporter in textiles, we are in agro processing, we are in horticulture, we are in auto components. We have recently developed our aerospace and defense industries. We are the second state, one of the two states in India which has been selected as a defense corridor by the government of India. We have 5 major nodes for defense and aerospace industries. So we are present here across the entire spectrum. You will find the full supply chain sitting right next to you when somebody comes and decides to invest in Tamil Nadu. So I want all the participants to recognize that opportunity and think of Tamil Nadu as a major state where they can locate the investments in future.
Fantastic. It's great to know that how the industry department and the MSME department has used IT to make the whole process of applying for approvals so much simpler, so much easier, and especially in these times when people have difficulty in going to the offices, the processes are online and people are able to avail of it, and the whole range of opportunities as a Tamil Nadu as an investment destination provides to explain that. One of the questions someone has asked in the Q&A, so I am like taking it up right now itself, that someone has asked that unless India improves its business processes and makes it simpler for investment, many of the investments which are coming from China may actually go to Vietnam. So that person has asked that can we, East India or your state, making the processes, the whole ease of doing business much more easier for investment. And also I will add on here that you are also heading the startup and entrepreneurship development organization of Tamil Nadu. So you can also like talk about how easy it is for startups and small entrepreneurs to operate in your state.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's a very good question. Let me just address it as follows. I think the first part of the question is really pertinent to the business climate that we have as a whole in India. And state-wise, of course, we have differences. But India as a destination is still not, the most preferred, I would say, internationally. The reasons, as you mentioned, are well known because we don't really have ease of doing business to the extent desirable across the entire country, even though some states are better than others. But still, we need to go a lot further in terms of improving our business climate and improving overall ease of doing business. We have been improving the last 5 years. We have moved from a rank of 143 to now 63, but still there's a long way to go. And all states are on different levels of maturity in terms of providing ease of doing business. So they also have to improve individually. But the point is well taken that unless we improve the processes, unless we improve the ease of doing business, unless we cut down the times required for giving approvals or NOCs to the entrepreneurs, we really cannot hope to be among the top countries in the world in terms of manufacturing capabilities and manufacturing ecosystem. So that point is obviously well taken, and we need to improve on that quite a lot. Let me just mention a few things that we have done in Tamil Nadu. At national level also I'm aware, but let me focus on my state currently. In Tamil Nadu, when we brought this business act in 2018, the first thing that we did was to re-engineer all the processes of all departments. So today, my single window system for MSMEs, exclusively for MSMEs, has 15 departments on board, 15. So all the departments that one entrepreneur can think of for obtaining approvals are on a single platform on the single window portal. That's a very major advancement from what was happening earlier. All the departments, they have re-engineered their processes to shorten the time frames required for granting approvals. This was an extensive exercise that we had done prior to getting the act in place, where all departments were required to do a full-scale government process re-engineering to ensure that all the processes are made simpler and all the requirements for documentation are simplified. So that already we have done in a large way in Tamil Nadu. Now, second part of the question regarding startups, yes, that again is a very major area where we are working. Tamil Nadu is a leading state in startups in the country. And we have a number of startups from Tamil Nadu, which have gone on to become unicorns and which have gone on to become worldwide. They have obtained worldwide status in terms of their reach and in terms of their offering of services. The state, that is Tamil Nadu state, has approved a startup policy last year in January 19, which is now the main framework for startups in Tamil Nadu. And EDII Tamil Nadu is working for this startup ecosystem in the state. We are working with a number of incubators in our state. We have a very advanced ecosystem for startups because we have the country's highest number of professional technical institutions providing the highest number of skilled resources to the industry, skilled manpower to the industry. All the colleges, many of them, they run very large incubators where they nurture startups. We are supporting a number of them in terms of providing funding, in terms of developing the ecosystem through a mentorship framework, through a framework of supporting the innovation. We have a statewide programs for supporting innovation. We have a very unique innovation voucher program, IVP, which is probably run in very advanced countries like Europe and US. We are probably the only one in India which have run this program for the last 2 years now successfully, where we support innovative ideas of startups, entrepreneurs through a grant, substantial grant up to 5 lakhs in the beginning, which supports them to develop prototype, then bring it to market. After that, they are eligible for further grants up to 50 lakhs through our other schemes, which they can avail of to develop products and grow their business. So we have very successful startup ecosystem where again, we are attracting investment from abroad. We have taken startups to events abroad for startup conferences, to other incubators and accelerators in India and abroad. We have taken MSME from our state to events in India and abroad where they can develop business opportunities and grow their export market. So we have a number of schemes in both startup domain and MSME domain to support them holistically, organically, for them to grow and reach their business potential.
Great. Please also talk about the various like startups have a huge challenge of approaching the government departments for work because the government departments have tenders and tenders have higher eligibility criteria which require financial deposits upfront. So are there any schemes by which government departments across your state in Tamil Nadu can easily work with startups, and so that startups and government collaborations start to happen?
Yes, in fact, that's a very good question, because unless the government supports the startups and MSMEs, we cannot really hope, them to become big and grow their potential and grow their business. So in Tamil Nadu, what we have done in July 2018, we brought an amendment to our Tender Transparency Act. Now, this act is concerned with procurement from for the government departments, from the vendors. This act we have amended, and the amendment now makes the government departments to procure 25% of the requirement from MSMEs and startups. So all the government departments and PSUs in Tamil Nadu are required to procure 25% of their yearly requirement from the startups and MSMEs. So that's a major step that we have taken to allow startups and MSMEs to avail business opportunities and supply to government departments. Also, the GEM portal of Government of India. Again, I let me mention that as well, because that's a very important initiative. On GEM portal also, the MSMEs from a state are quite active in supplying to government departments across the entire country. Government of India also has brought in an amendment whereby all the government departments and central PSUs are required to procure 20% of their goods and services from MSMEs. So again, the government, both at national level and a state level in Tamil Nadu, we have taken a step to support the MSMEs and startups so that they can avail business possibilities from the government departments and PSUs.
There are I will request you to look at the questions on in your screen. In the bottom of the screen, like there is a Q&A button, question and answer button. So if you can select some of the questions and address them, that would be nice.
Yes, let me just see. Okay, I can see the first question. Can we have rationalized supply of? Okay, I couldn't read that. Let me just. Yes, okay. So let me just. I think the first question on ease of doing business, I already have
Yes.
addressed. So I think let me just go to the next one. Yes. So second question about leveraging the IT work that I had done earlier in Government of India for the MSME sector. This also I've addressed in my talk, where I mentioned that we are using e-governance in a major way to really address the challenges that MSMEs face in Tamil Nadu. So I mentioned that all the programs that we have made completely online. The entire process for availing benefits and government schemes is fully online now. We can apply for all approvals from government departments through single window portal, which is fully online. And this is working beautifully. I request all the participants to really see our portal for online single window portal. The URL is easybusiness.tn.gov.in/MSME/ easybusiness, EASY business.tn.gov.in/MSME. So you can see how the single window portal operates. Our portal for all the schemes online is msmeonline.tn.gov.in, msmeonline.tn.gov.in, which again is a very beautiful portal which provides everything online at one place for the MSMEs. We have our main portal, that is Indcom, indcom.tn.gov.in. So kindly visit that portal as well. That's a single point gateway for all our services which are now being given online. So that's I request all participants to really see those portals and see how we have leveraged IT and how we have leveraged e-governance for our MSME sector in Tamil Nadu. There is a question on industrial decongesting of Chennai. This probably is happening because our new planning rules are addressing these requirements. So I hope in due course this will get addressed, and this would get resolved. There's a question on the MSME request for waiver of electricity charges. This point we have taken up with the concerned department in Tamil Nadu, and they have also given some relief, and we have to wait for their decision on this request. But some relief has been announced by them on this specific point. Okay, next question is on water crisis of Tamil Nadu. I think water even at national level or at a state level, we need to use very judiciously, because we should be aware of the challenges on this front. But in Tamil Nadu, I think we have a good system of water conservation through rainwater harvesting and storing the rainfall that the state gets. So I think this point has been addressed step by step by the government in almost all districts of the state. And I hope this situation will improve for the better in future. Next question is on the MSME sector and the relief being given by the central government. I think this is a very pertinent question. Let me just answer it. Take a few minutes to answer this point. This is on the defaulting payments, overdue payments by the large industries to the MSMEs. This is a very major issue that MSMEs face, and I can understand that during these pandemic times, this would even be further aggravated because of the lack of business that they have to face. Let me just mention the steps that we have taken in Tamil Nadu. As you may be aware, MSME Act provides for the MSEFC, that is MS Macro and Small Industries Facilitation Councils in every state. In Tamil Nadu, we have 4 councils in Coimbatore, Trichy, Madurai and Chennai, where the council meets periodically to hear the disputes of the defaulters, the overdue payments, and we give quasi-judicial judgments to ensure payments are given. Tamil Nadu, in fact, is the most active state to resolve the overdue payment cases. Last year, 2019, we received the prize at national level for resolving the most number of cases and for recovering the highest amount of overdue payment from large industries to MSMEs. This step can be taken by all the states to ensure that the overdue payment cases are resolved and the payments are made to MSMEs by the large industries without default. In Tamil Nadu, all the 4 councils have been acting they have been very active in ensuring that the cases are heard and resolved. We have heard cases against government departments, both at Government of India, at state level. We have heard cases against the PSUs, central PSUs, state PSUs, and we have ensured payments in almost all the cases. So let me just mention that here, because that provides a way forward on resolving these issues for other states as well. Okay, I think next question is on the Israeli technology and its use in our country. I think we already have a number of startups and MSMEs in Tamil Nadu which are having collaborations with firms abroad for latest technologies. We have a major research park in Chennai, which is the IIT Madras Research Park, which is a major center for innovation. It's a 1.2 million square feet facility, which is hosting a number of very innovative startups, some of whom we are also supporting. And they are developing cutting edge technologies for the firms across the world, and they are themselves very innovative in really using those for bringing innovation and developing new products. So there's a huge potential for bringing these technologies to Tamil Nadu and to our country, to India as well. And I welcome any suggestions or any leads on this that you can bring to Tamil Nadu. Next question is, I think the special package on COVID-19 effect. This I had mentioned in my talk earlier. I had mentioned that the Government of India and RBI, they already have announced a number of initiatives to address the challenges. Some more are in discussion, as you might have seen in the media. Reports are coming on a daily basis as to the further steps being taken for this sector. I'm hopeful that those will be announced in the days to come, and the sector would be given further support by the government. State government also, we have taken initiatives, and as per the needs of the sector, we also will consider any further steps that are required to be taken. Next question is on supply chain diversification. So I think at this point I had addressed, because this is a very huge opportunity for the MSMEs to take advantage of because of the pandemic situation across the entire world. As I mentioned, many countries, many firms abroad, many MNCs are actively considering diversifying their supply chains and relocating their facilities in other countries. And India should be a prime beneficiary of this momentous shift that is happening in industry supply chains across the world. So we should be prepared. We should really improve our business climate, and we should improve our ease of doing business. And if we do that, if we can provide them with, for example, plug-and-play facilities, we can provide them with approvals within the shortest possible time. If we can provide them with land, developed land, if we can provide them with funding on easy terms, I say no reason why India cannot be the prime beneficiary of this shift taking place across the entire industry value chain in the world. So definitely that's a very important aspect that we should all consider. Next question is from Chennai. It is on the preparedness of the state government to ensure raw materials availability. I think this is also a very important point. I think people, the MSMEs from the state would be aware that through our own entity called SIDCO, Tamil Nadu State Small Industrial Development Corporation, we have a process of supplying raw materials to some extent to the units, and this we can definitely examine to enhance in these distressed times for the industry. So that definitely we can consider. Next question, IBC proceedings. IBC is a central law, and as you might have seen in the media, there are some discussions going on making some amendments in the IBC provisions in view of the current distress situation. So that also, I think, would be getting addressed in the days to come. Next question is on the EMD waiver for the MSME vendor. This, I think, many states allow. In our state also, we have some exemptions for the MSMEs, but EMD is probably a requirement of the tendering or the procuring department to ensure that ensure the integrity of the supply process by the selected contractor or vendor. So probably we need to take a judicious call on this request because there may be some chances of the supplier withdrawing or not being able to supply. So this is a safeguard against that, but definitely we can consider any steps to address during distress times. That definitely we can consider. Okay, then I think the next question is on energy auditing and management. Okay, let me answer this question because this is a pertinent point for Tamil Nadu, because in Tamil Nadu we have a scheme, we have a specific state government scheme on promoting energy conservation in MSME units and promoting energy efficiency. So what we have done, we allow an MSME unit to engage a consultant, an empaneled consultant of Government of India Bureau of Energy Efficiency, to do the energy auditing of the unit and suggest measures for improving energy efficiency. Based on that auditing process and based on those recommendations, if the firms decide to undertake any improvements and in that process they incur investment, then a part of that investment, part of that expenditure is reimbursed by us, by our department. So this is a very important scheme that we have launched in the last 3 years, and the takeoff of the scheme has been quite good, and many units have become modernized and their energy consumption has come down because of this initiative. This I would request all the MSMEs in Tamil Nadu to avail of. Kindly approach the district industry center in your district to know about the scheme, or see our website. This scheme is also online fully. You can apply online and we will reach out to you on our own without any need for you to come to our office. So please take advantage of this scheme. Let me also mention that we also have a scheme to promote quality in our MSMEs in Tamil Nadu, whereby for any unit which obtains certifications, for example, ISO or other international certifications, ISI or ISO, etc., for them we reimburse 50% of the cost of obtaining that certification. So again, this has proved very beneficial in improving quality of the products and processes being manufactured by that unit. And this also is fully online now. You can apply online and you can avail the benefits. Okay, so I think probably, yeah, there's another question on shortage of skilled workers in the industry. This also is a very pertinent point. In fact, I have seen the investors from abroad who express interest to come to Tamil Nadu or to other parts of India. They have repeatedly mentioned lack of skilled resources, skilled manpower as a major factor for, that is hindering investment. So that definitely is a major point. Let me, there is a national skill development mission which already is being implemented at a national level for, some time now, which is helping to address this issue. Let me mention in Tamil Nadu what we have done. In Tamil Nadu, for the MSMEs to meet the requirement of skill resources, we have a skill program for them called Amma Skill Program, Amma Skill Thittam, which is being run by our department for the MSMEs. What this scheme envisages is as follows. Any MSME can employ a skilled resource, a resource from a technical college or a technical institution, and that resource has to be employed on the shop floor, in the factory, in the unit, and they need to be trained for 6 months by the unit. The framework, the curriculum is given as per the NSDM, National Skill Development Mission framework. We have a Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, which oversees this process of skilling by the MSME for the particular employee. And we pay a part of the cost of providing a stipend to that employee to the unit. So the unit, the MSME unit is reimbursed a part of the cost of skilling that employee. At the end of the 6 months period, the employee is assessed by the Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, and they are provided a certificate for having improved the skill or gained that particular skill. And after that, the person is employed by the unit, or they can move to another unit. This has proved very successful in the last 4 years now. We have trained more than 80,000 workers in the MSME units in Tamil Nadu alone. In Tamil Nadu, we have trained more than 80,000 workers in the last 3 years. This is ongoing scheme. This also we are running. Every year our target is to train at least 25,000 workers. These workers are now providing a pool of highly skilled manpower to all the MSMEs and also even to large industries. We have seen that after this skilling process, many employees, they leave the job and move to larger firms for better remuneration. But that process we have seen, and we are aware of that, but we are aiming at skilling more people. If it is happening, then it's for the benefit of the employee. So we are, we are fine with that process, but we want to ensure that the MSMEs, they get a highly skilled resource pool of such workers. So this issue has been addressed in our state. Okay, so I think a trades platform is also another step taken by Government of India to address the issue of late payments. So trades platform, this is a platform for all the large companies to come on that platform, and the MSMEs to obtain discounting on their receivables or bills payable to them. So this also is working, but I think the offtake needs to be improved, and that needs to be worked upon by the government of India for improving this platform's usefulness to the MSMEs. Next question is on BHEL, I think, purchase policy guidelines. I think BHEL has its own process for engaging MSMEs, so that the MSME should be aware of. BHEL has a unit in our state in Trichy, which is a very large unit, which supports a good MSME ecosystem in that region. And we also are providing all the benefits to them under our own state government schemes to those MSMEs. Okay, so I think, I think another question of CIDCO Industrial Estate. This also is an ongoing, endeavor that we have taken up. Already we maintain over 120 estates across the across all the districts. So at present, CIDCO, that is meant for small industries in Tamil Nadu, they maintain over 120 industrial parks across all districts, which are hosting MSMEs for production of a range of products that they manufacture. These are highly successful and demand is quite good. Every year we come up with new estates in new areas based on demand assessment. And this is an ongoing process. So in and around Chennai, we have a number of locations where we have industrial parks, where any investor can come and express interest for obtaining a developed industrial plot. So I'm most welcome to see the CIDCO site, which actually is a very active site. You can see the GIS-based land allotment process. You can apply for allotment of land online, and you can obtain allotment online. You can see the plot availability in real time on the portal through the GIS process, and you can apply, you can select that plot as per your choice online, and you apply for online, make payment online, and we will give you allotment. So we have made it that easy for the entrepreneurs to obtain developed land in Tamil Nadu. So I think probably I have covered most of the questions. If there are any further questions, I would be really happy to answer. If there are any further issues that are of interest to the participants.
Sure. Sir, there are few questions on the chat actually. If you click the chat button, there is a question from Coimbatore cluster have potential to become electric vehicle motor hub for exports, and any plans to focus on that as a electric vehicle hub, EV hub? If you look at the chat.
Yes. Let me address that. That's a good question. In fact, recently the state government has come out with a e-vehicle policy to promote the manufacturing of e-vehicles in Tamil Nadu. We have a number of incentives that are that we have made available to these units for the MSMEs going into this domain. We have a specific incentive scheme that we have announced, and GO has been issued by our department, which provides these incentives to them to support them for manufacturing e-vehicle components, so that they can avail of. Coimbatore is a very entrepreneurial region in Tamil Nadu, where the units are very active. We also have a very major defense hub there, defense manufacturing hub there. We have recently got sanctioned Government of India for promoting a defense hub in Coimbatore. So all those are being done now, and e-vehicle is now coming up in a big way in that region. So they are most welcome to really avail the incentives from the state government for e-vehicle manufacturing.
There is another question regarding defense corridor, if you want to address that.
Yes. Okay, I will, if there is a specific question I can answer, otherwise I will let me mention defense corridor is a very important initiative that the state government has taken in consultation with the Government of India. We are one of the 2 states which have been selected as a defense corridor by Government of India. And in Tamil Nadu, we have selected 5 nodes: Coimbatore, Trichy, Salem, then Hosur and Chennai, as the 5 major centers for defense manufacturing ecosystem. And these places, already a lot of work is going on. These already are major centers for manufacturing for defense and related items. And MSMEs also are very active in these 5 centers. So these centers we are developing as defense manufacturing hubs. We have held number of events in these locations, inviting the local stakeholders. We have held events at a state level, national level. We have taken part in all the defense expositions. We have had a defense expo in Chennai in 2019, which was a major event for the defense sector. So we are 2018. So this we are very well aware of the defense corridor, and we welcome any interest or investments from any of the participants in this forum for a defense or aerospace manufacturing in Tamil Nadu.
There is another question on Q&A that someone has asked that how we can get associated for skill development in electronics domain for MSME.
Yes, for electronics, the domain also, as I mentioned, our skill development program is available to them. And we have had a number of MSMEs in electronics manufacturing who have actually availed of that scheme to skill their employees with the help of the National Skill Development Missions framework. So that is available. Not only that, we have set up dedicated skill development missions for the different sectors with the help of the industry. So we have a number of industry-run, industry-operated centers for skill development, which we have opened up for the MSMEs, where they can hire the skilled person and they can give them opportunities for employment. And the number of the skilled workers in different sectors have really increased in the last couple of years for the industry to avail of.
Great. I think one last question which is on the chat is, but very important, agri-related MSME projects. Are you looking at that also?
Yes. So even for agriculture sector, the MSMEs which are in agro processing or horticulture processing, they also are part of the MSME ecosystem, and our scheme provides support to them as well. So they also are most welcome to avail our schemes, and they can see online, apply online for all these schemes. They can avail benefits. They can also come to our DICs. Our DICs will be fully functional after the current phase of lockdown ends on 17th May. We hope if the permissions come, then they will be functional. Even now, we are functional with a limited strength. So they are most welcome to approach the DICs, our general managers, for knowing about the scheme and how to avail these schemes. You can visit online. All the information is fully online now. You can apply for all these schemes online, and you can avail all the benefits. You can approach our head office in Chennai, our industries commissionerate, where you can see, you can talk to our officers, and you can find out what schemes we have to offer. You can also approach me in my head office in Secretariat in Chennai, where we would be happy to help any entrepreneur with any information or support that we can provide them.
Sure. There is a question regarding MSME card in the Q&A section. Someone is asking how do you get it and how do you use it?
MSME card.
Like, is it there? I have no idea.
No, I don't think we have any MSME card system. I can just tell you briefly what the legal requirements are. Sure. For any MSME to start the production, once they commence production, they now have to just apply for an Udyog Aadhaar Memorandum, UAM, on the portal of Government of India. That's it. So once you commence production, you just apply for that UAM, and once that UAM is obtained, then they can apply for all the schemes and all the benefits. Banks also would ask for that UAM number for giving them loans or any other benefits or any other schemes. So that's the only requirement now. And the other requirement is that for setting up a factory, you need to apply for permissions, for example, from planning department, from fire department for NOC, from health department for health NOC, and the local body for the local trade license. Other than that, there is no other card required for any MSME to start or commence operations.
So I think with this we have addressed all the most of the questions, I suppose, and I will request Dr. Rajendra Kumar ji in the end to talk about a bit about ILET's efforts in reaching out to the citizens and taking the message of the government to the larger masses. You have seen our magazines for over 15 years now, our e-governance magazine and our efforts in organizing conferences, workshops across India. So your inputs and suggestions for us, Rajendra ji.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think it was really nice to interact with so many participants here, and I really thought the questions were very thought-provoking and very pertinent to the MSME sector. I would like to convey my best wishes to all the entrepreneurs during these times. My message, key message that I want to give is that please don't despair during these times of distress. I think this is only a temporary phase that is going to pass, maybe in a few weeks' time or in a few months' time. But definitely, let me mention that prominently, better times are ahead of us. And probably we are going to see a phase of economic boom in the months to come, where all the MSMEs would be able to avail of much greater opportunities for developing and growing their business. So I think that should be the long-term vision that we all should have for the MSME sector and for the growth of our economy as well. So let's not be too perturbed or disturbed by this temporary phase of, this difficult pandemic times. I'm sure we all will come out of it much stronger, in which we can help our country to become stronger, help our economy to grow bigger. I think the target of $5 trillion economy by 2024, we cannot really achieve without the support of the MSMEs, without the MSMEs growing much bigger than what they currently are. As we are aware, MSMEs, they contribute to 1/3 of our GDP, roughly 30% of our GDP. So out of the current 3 trillion, roughly about $1 trillion comes from the MSME sector. And almost 40% of the exports also come from the MSME sector. So this is the potential that the MSME sector has. And in time to come, as our economy grows, the share of the MSME sector would grow even more. I think if you take the example of developed economies, the sector contribution from MSME goes to almost 45 to 50%. So if you take that figure, then when we grow to 5 trillion, the MSME's contribution should be roughly about 2 trillion, if not more. So that shows that as the economy of our country grows from 3 to 5 trillion, MSMEs have to grow from 1 to 2 trillion. They have to double their contribution, which is more than what the national economy would grow. So that's the, overall size of the pie that we're looking at for the MSME sector. And it is for all the stakeholders to recognize that opportunity, because that is going to come before us. And we have to become competitive. We have to really see the opportunities, become internationally competitive, exploit global supply chains, and get to the frontiers of innovation and knowledge capacities. So unless we do that, unless we develop the skills, unless we improve our competitiveness, we cannot really hope to grow to that level. So this is the message I would like to give to all the participants here, that please recognize the opportunities, keep on the lookout for all growth that is going to come before us in the coming months, and be ready to really use that chance to help the economy, help your enterprise, help your employees to really realize the full potential.
Thank you, Dr. Rajendra Kumar, for joining us at a very, very informative session. You have replied to all the questions in great detail and given an overall vision for the industry and the MSME sector in the state of Tamil Nadu, which is very, very encouraging. You just mentioned about the GIS based plots and allotment system in your state, which is very heartening to note, because I have personally seen in some other states this process of allotment of plots is very cumbersome, since it's all manual, and like it's very, very complicated. And I am so happy to know that it's already computerized and GIS based in your state. And I would urge that it happens in all other states also. So with this, we will end this session here. And someone is asking about the Facebook link of this session. So the link is already given in the chat. If you go up, there is a chat link there, or if you go on the Facebook and write eGov magazine or ILETS Technomedia, you will arrive on our page, and you can see the Facebook live. And I will really request all the audience who are attending this on Zoom and Facebook to please share this link, so that this will really help all the several other MSMEs to get benefited from all the great ideas. And he has Dr. Rajendra Kumar has mentioned another very important point, that there is a big light at the end of the tunnel. The faith of the global industries and MNCs from has a bit of shaken with the Chinese experience, and they are looking at other options, and India would be considered a important option by all the MNCs, and that is a great sign for the growth of for the Indian MSMEs. So with this, we are going to close this session, and I will also inform all the audience that we are holding daily webinars at ILETS. So please look at our Facebook page daily, and you will see such informative sessions daily on your Facebook. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajendra Kumar ji, and all the audience. Namaskar to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.